Good evening, gentlemen. It's an historical day. It's Monday, the 19th of September, and it is well and truly the end of an era. So, I just want to do this little stream tonight because it's Monday night, and that's what we do on Monday night. But we will talk about today as well as other things anyway. So, let me first of all say hello to people. Alistair Taylor, good evening. Lieutenant Colombo's Glass Eye, good evening. McLaren F1 Race, Peter Blue, Leeds, Barry from EastEnders, Kipax, Ian UK, Tony Edwards, Yogi Bear, Sean Harris, Capo 17, Ty Billy Boy, good evening to you all, gentlemen. Popcorn, good evening, Ed. And now for something completely different. It's Monday evening. It's there's no pressure on this because this is the smaller channel. We talk about the other channel in a moment. Something to say about that. Wayne Kerr. Wayne Kerr. May as well start with this question here. Wayne Kerr. Hi Ed. Is Phuket a place worth a visit or miss? Well, my information on Phuket goes back about 20 years. So whether that's reliable or not is another matter. 20 years. When I went to Phuket about 20 years ago, I think it was on my second visit to Thailand, and I loved it. I thought, beautiful place, boat out to Krabi province, all that. Patong Beach, Bangla Road, terrific. I absolutely loved it. But in recent times, it's become notoriously expensive. So, I can't really give you up-to-date information on Phuket, simply because it's a long time since I've been there. But I will say that I loved it. I almost made it there earlier this year, but I was kind of umming and ahhing, and I eventually come to the conclusion I did more, not so good reports than good reports. And also, personally, during my last Thai adventure, I actually done a total of 4 islands. And I think that's about enough for anyone. So a place where the visitor or miss, if you've never been there, go there, basically. Okay. Lisa Dale's Gambian Lover, 10 inches. Is that all? I mean, are you giving it away now? I thought you were going to say a lot more than that. Okay. Gaz77, nice to hear from you, mate. That's a little bit too vulgar, that is. Kipak's usual riff-raff in the house. Fantastic. Okay. Pinball. What's the big questions? I haven't actually decided yet. I mean, the thing is, there's a couple of little things we can talk about tonight. And that's one big question. Well, today obviously the world lost its longest reigning monarch, and it was wonderful. I watched it on TV today, and it's only when I'm not going to go into depressing talk, but it was wonderful. I mean, it just seems strange that after 70 years of being Queen of England, that our wonderful Queen is gone now, but she's been replaced by the best person who could have replaced her. So we'll talk about that at the end anyway. We'll talk about that in a bit. Good, Yogi Bear, nice to hear from you. Ian Bowden, even though you spend all day gawping at the TV, I see most of it. I did see most of it. Nice to hear from you, Ian. Share the hairy muff. I do like the hairy stuff. Okay. Pajamas again. Why the hell not? It's Monday night. It's relaxed. What do you expect me? Do you want me to wear a suit and a dicky bow, brill cream my hair back, obviously like some of those smarmy bloody presenters do on some of the other channels. No, this is very, 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 very laid back. Yeah, these are my pajamas. Okay, so that's the way it is. The Bazooki, brilliant service today, Ed. It was a wonderful service, and the close of it. The ending of it with the I'm sorry, but I might just get emotional. Really, it was very, very emotional. I can't really talk about that. Maybe at the end of the program. Okay, let's see. Tinks 1463. My mate just invited me to our Thailand for our 60th birthday, Prezi. Wish I had friends like that. I have to pay for my own. Okay, good for you, mate. Anyway. Ivan, even Eddie never spent 7 hours in front of the TV before. What a spectacle. Somber day. Yeah, absolutely magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Tom Easton, nice to hear from you. Poppycorn, one of your old vlogs from Siam Reap popped up on my timeline the other day. Do you ever rewatch your old videos and reminisce? I'll be absolutely blunt with you. Once in a blue moon, I'll watch one of my old videos. When it's an old one, come back about 4 years, 4 years now with some of those, aren't they? Really 4 years. I do occasionally watch them. And I have to say, I'm actually very, very embarrassed by a lot of them. I'm embarrassed by the camera work. I'm embarrassed by the way I say and this is what I'm going to do. To be honest with you, I don't mind admitting this to anyone. I think a little bit of criticism helps. Helps you. Because no one ever criticizes you. You're never really going to know when you're going wrong. But I mean, I think if I was to do vlogs now, I think I actually talk better now than what I did then, because it's just you just finding your way. And the number of times like I mumbled and I said, if I was watching this, I feel a little bit embarrassed by some of it, but that's the way it goes. But some of the others, I'm looking forward to doing. I'm heading out to Siam Reap again, hopefully in the coming months. So let's do it. Let's make some better vlogs this time. Paul Hoskin, I'm going to miss the Queen. Okay, good for you, Paul. I am as well. Robster, hi, Ed. I'm on the wine. Okay, what are you whining about? No, I mean, good for you anyway. This is Coors Light out of a bottle. And my house, the delivery is actually getting better. I mean, it's actually getting better. I had the delivery, it was last night, wasn't it? Because I knew I wouldn't get one today. And they only missed one thing, which was my I think my sole fillets. I think they missed that. But other than that, they managed to include everything else. Evening, Ed. When are you off on your next travels? Will you visit Phuket at all? Gaz has just popped in. Okay. I won't be visiting Phuket. Someone else has mentioned Phuket. I think Gaz needs to visit the toilet. That's what he needs to do. Richard Palawak. Good evening, Ed. David Eisenberg lookalike. Hello, mate. How are you? Clive, I thought it was a very fitting and respectful day. Nice how most of the Commonwealth memorials were driven past. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Sean Harris. Should Harry and Andrews have worn a uniform in the procession? I don't think they should have been denied one, because both of those people fought for their country. Both Harry and Andrew fought for their country. Oh, like, well, never mind all the other stuff. Well, wait a minute. They put their life on the line to go and fight for their country. I think they should have been allowed to wear uniforms. I'm only assuming that the reason that they weren't wearing ones because they weren't allowed. Harold Patterson, nice to hear from you, mate. Hell yeah, okay. Let's see, Andrew Hammond. Even though one place I'm looking forward to visiting in Thailand in October is Koh Sok National Park. Have you been? No, I don't believe I have. I don't too much go to national parks. I tend to like islands. I like tropical islands. They seem to be my place. But I'm sure, I mean, if you watch one channel I recommend, you may well know about it. But a YouTube channel I will definitely recommend is Carl's Thailand. That's Carl with a K. Carl's Thailand. He does the best vlogs about national parks and all that kind of stuff. Check him out. Carl's Thailand. Well worth a look. Matthew Cartwright, nice to hear from you. Let's see. Sean Harris, do you ever buy stuff from street vendors where in Southeast Asia? What kind of stuff? Rarely. I can't remember last time I bought in a street vendor. Maybe it should, you're helping people. But when you say street vendors, you mean people who come up to your bars, shove something in your face, do you want this and all that? No, I don't tend to do that. I must admit, I don't tend to do that. Paul Hoskins, some people who queue for the Queen were trying to sell their wristbands on it. Oh, well, whatever. Don't even, I'm not even going to go there. Barry from EastEnders. Big question, is Alex Bellfield worse than Meghan Markle? I'm not sure what worst means, but what I will mention, I'm glad that you mentioned, I'm not going to mention Meghan Markle. I think enough has been said about it. Enough has been said about Alex Bellfield, funnily enough. But Alex Bellfield, Friday, that was the 16th of September, and a lot of people were waiting for that court case to come along. He'd been found guilty of those charges. I'm not going to go too much out of this, but he was banged up and he's been given 5.5 years in prison. He'd probably say about a couple of years, but some people think that was incredibly steep. All I'll say about Alex Bellfield, I don't have any sympathy with him personally. He knew what he was getting into. He played with fire. He got burned. He's no angel, absolutely no angel at all. And I think there's other things to worry about Alex. But I actually feel let down because I actually like the guy a lot, but I think he let a lot of people down. But on the plus side, that video that I made of him is done rather well, and that video is actually on the other channel is actually brought almost 200 new subscribers. Really, it's actually brought almost 200 new subscribers. I mean, for weeks I was just edging towards 43,000 subs, and I think it actually touched that exact figure at one time, and then it went backwards again. I couldn't get to 43,000 subs, but then I made that video, and it's brought it's pushed me well over 43,000 now. So most of those subs probably won't be watching this channel now, but I will say hello to them on a live stream next week. It'll be nice to say hello to them anyway. So yeah, I'm over for that. Video's that video's over is pushed me over 43,000 subscribers on the other channel. So if Alex is watching, in his prison cell, thanks Alex. No, I don't think he will be watching some. I don't think he will. Let's see. Good evening. Alan Rowland, good evening. Britain's done a good job today. Yeah. I'd like to, do you know something? I did watch it, and I would like to, I'm trying to stay cheerful. I would like to, talk about that ceremony, especially towards the end, but I feel I get too emotional, to be honest with you. Anyway, Alistair Taylor. That's a good looking brew. Yeah, it's a Coors Light. I like it to taste. I do think it tastes better in bottles, because I've got boxes of bottles of the Coors Light now. All right, lovely stuff. Nice. David Merchant, nice to hear from you. Gaz77. Gaz77, I'll be off to Asda tomorrow to stock him on food and drinks. Yeah, you never know. One day you might even pay for it. Okay. What colour's your dress tomorrow, Gaz? Nice to hear from you anyway. Life Utopia, nice to hear from you. Leeds, Shaggy Rogers, Fred Mays, better than... Yeah, Fred Mays. Oh, whatever, yeah. T-Town, I'm here, Ed. Nice to hear from you. Gaz77. Gaz77, I drank a full bottle of Bacardi and Nick from Asda's today. Was Asda open today? You tell them, Porkies. Let's see. Did someone say Blue Kipax? Nice to hear from you, mate. Let's see. Sean Harris, what's the good documentary on Netflix called The Django and the Django about Sergio Corbucci, the second best spaghetti western director? Do you know, I would not have known the name of Sergio Corbucci, but everyone knows Sergio Leone. But I'm glad that you mentioned that, because you know what? I as well as having Netflix and Amazon, which I don't really watch that much, not as much as it costs. I actually purchased got around to buying a new DVD player the other week. And I dug out some of the old movies and I wanted to come across A Fistful of Dollars. Do you know that movie was made in 1964? Now, a lot of people think that those movies, for a fistful of dollars, for a few dollars more, the good, the bad, and the ugly, a lot of people think they were all made in the year 1967. They weren't. That was the year that they were all released in Britain and America, I believe. Clint was, a superstar in Europe for a couple of years before, America caught on to him. But I watched A Fistful of Dollars, which was 1964, when Clint was 34 years old there. Bear in mind, he's now 91. Clint was 34 years old, and he wasn't an established movie star. Remember, he was a TV. He was a TV actor. He wasn't even a TV star. He was a TV actor before that. But Jesus, man, oh my God, oh man, that guy. When you see him in that movie, A Fistful of Dollars, you think that man just oozes charisma and star quality. And as we know, the story is, we went to Europe to film these low budget spaghetti westerns. The low budget spaghetti westerns. He went there as an ordinary TV actor, and he returned to America a few years later as a superstar with the red carpet rolled out for him. Absolutely amazing. Those Hollywood agents must have been kicking themselves, when they didn't realize his superstar potential before. And what's A Fistful of Dollars? I still maintain that they are the only trilogy of movies, the only ones where the sequels were better than the original. The only ones ever made. Wonderful stuff. Well, don't get me started on Clinton spaghetti westerns, please. Stephen West, can't believe the Queen has gone. She's been there all of our lives. Mark Hollick, nice to hear from you, Mark, with his new profile pic of Stan Laurel. Wonderful. Good evening, Eddie, and those in the chat. Okay, good evening, Mark. I hope you've had a great day today, mate. I know that you've been watching the ceremony today as well. Cheers. Ian Bowden, Eddie, will you do some off the beaten track stuff in Thailand in future? Do you fancy going somewhere where you can be the only Westerner for miles for a day or more? Ian, in order to do that, I would have to feel really, really, really physically fit, and I am getting better. I'm going on the exercise bike, but I think to do stuff like that, sometimes I know I shouldn't go on about this, but I'm 60 years old now. Sometimes, you think, so sometimes I think I'm getting a bit old for doing stuff like that. And when you're 60 years old, it's it doesn't benefit anyone for you to pretend that, you're a virile, fit young man anymore. It's I wouldn't like to do something like that, and people think, oh, geez, he's an old bastard as he is. What the hell does he think he's doing climbing a mountain? But yeah, it's an interesting idea. It really, really is. I do. I still island hop. I go on boats across and go from islands to islands and stuff like that. Yeah, but thanks for that. Anyway, cheers. Eddie, let's see. Gaz 77. Eddie, why do you pay for your shopping? If I was you, I wouldn't. Well, then he wouldn't bloody deliver. I don't know if you noticed, Gaz, but all of my shopping is delivered now. It's all delivered. Yeah, and if I didn't pay for it with a credit card, they wouldn't bloody deliver it, would they? They wouldn't deliver it. And besides, unlike you, Gaz, I don't really look very good with wearing lipstick and a pink dress. Okay. Rusty Lid, nice to hear from you, Rusty Lid. Met him in Pattaya. Okay. I watched your Siam Reef videos before going back a week ago, just to remember what things were like. Even ate at the Red Piano. Oh, you make me envious now. At the Red Piano. Oh, gee, what I'd give to be having a steak dinner at the Red Piano now. Love it. Lovely bunch of girls in there. Very, very friendly. I'll go in there again with it. I'll do a sequel to that video, Red Piano 2, the sequel. Lovely steak. You do get some lovely steaks in Cambodia, beautiful steaks. They're better than they look. I remember another vlogger, a certain vlogger. I won't. I won't mention his name, but he speaks with a Belgian accent. Okay, he has a Belgian accent. He's actually been on here. I remember I was watching YouTube one night. He was doing a live stream, and he actually uploaded my video to his live stream, and he it was called the Red Piano, and had a steak on the thumbnail, and in it, like, I jabbed a fork into the steak, and I said, well, that's me, that's my video that he's uploading there. And what did he say? He said something like, "This is Edward Sweeney," and then he looked at he filmed the steak, and he showed the steak, and then I wouldn't eat that. I wouldn't. That looks like shoe leather. I wouldn't eat that. He paid $15 for that. I wouldn't eat that. This vlog, and he comes from Belgium, by the way. You might know him. Okay. Oh yeah, lovely stuff. And other places, there's other restaurants that I do know of in Phnom Penh, where they just do the most wonderful steaks. They do. They really, those cows over there are bloody tasty. Bottle baby, great fuel, mate. All see. Okay. Cheers. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Popcorn, totally agree. Ed. Your videos, maybe your chats are really polished these days. Thank you. Still great to see the old stuff though. Maybe you were more innocent then. Okay, fine. That's a good point. But I do talk about. I do make an effort to talk about that. You just learn things as you go along. I still waffle on a bit, and but anyway, Mark Oleg, yeah, SK4 travels. Good evening, Ed. What an emotional, powerful funeral it was of our Queen. Made me feel proud. I am British. Would like to thank all those people throughout the world paying their respects. Absolutely. It was 19th of September, 2022. I think we'll all remember this day. Nice to hear from you there. SS travels 4K, by the way. I was watching his videos in Spain, Mallorca, and all that. Just wonderful travel videos, absolutely wonderful travel videos with some great camera equipment. So if you want to see what's going on there, check them out. Well worth a look. Chaz Brown, great sound for the Queen. Very well organised, as we do best. Okay, cheers. Okay. Martin Blunzer, good evening, Ed and chat. God bless the Queen. Great send-off. R.I.P. Yes, absolutely. Let's see, David Heisenberg. I'm not going to put comments like that. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but it's a day to celebrate the royals. Yogi Bear. Ed, only working royals can wear state occasion. They were given permission when the Queen's coffin. Yeah, makes sense. Mark Alex, such a beautiful service and dignified farewell for the Queen. I even teared up. I think it reminded me of when my mother passed. Absolutely, mate. I think we all did, to be honest with you. Let's see. Simon Depp. Hi, Eddie. After Thailand, end of November. Need to lose 2 stone in weight. Can it be done? Any tips? Well, Simon Depp, after Thailand, right, it needs to end of November. Can it be done? Anything? Well, what I'm doing, I can only tell you what I'm doing at the moment. I'm not saying I've still got this bloody awful belly. It won't go away, but I am. I'm tracking an exercise bike is a good one, but because the thing is, exercise get really, really boring. I mean, if you drag your exercise bike in front of the TV and watch an hour or maybe an hour and a half of your favorite YouTube videos or whatever, before you know it, the time has passed and you've done a fair bit of exercise there. Whereas it's better than just sitting down, just drinking coffee or all the time. So I confidently think that I can lose from where I was overweight, 16.5 stone. I think I can get down to 14.5 stone, which is still overweight, but it's still 2 stone loss anyway. And of course, just cut down on your foods, a little bit when you're drinking. I know that it looks like I'm drinking a fair bit. Well, I still am, but at least I'm drinking lower calorie beer, Coors Light. The simple stuff. And of course, if you're a certain age, getting on a bit, then don't try and lose weight too quickly because it's dangerous. Much better doing it slowly. Let's see. Barry Harmon, is there Barfoot and Siam Reap? We're still going to try in Cambodia. Siam Reap. The thing about Siam Reap, I mean, I think what you're asking is a good, for a single bloke meeting the ladies there. It's not as good as it was. It used to be very, very good when I first went. It was absolutely wonderful. But they're trying to clamp down on stuff like that. It seems to me. Siam Reap is a lovely place. It's a very, very pleasant town, but it's full of young people, very, very, very young. Young. I mean, if you're an older person, you may feel out of place there. It's not as good as it was, but you could still meet. I'm sure you can still meet girls, but Phnom Penh is better. That's better for it, definitely. The problem with Phnom Penh, I think some people, it's not so everyone say, some people either love it or hate it. I mean, I like Phnom Penh, but there's some people who thought, I can't bear this place. It's a dive, it's a dump, so I think you either love or hate that place. Tom Easton, Ed, Siam Reap or Phnom Penh, if you had to visit only one, trying to sort my stops after Pattaya. If I had to visit only one, it would have to be the capital, Phnom Penh, because the Riverside area has given me, let's just say, those girly bars over the years gave me so much pleasure over the years. And those Cambodian girls, Khmer, if you want to call them that, they are such wonderful girls. If you treat them right, then you are just fine. The Riverside bars, you meet such lovely girls there. They really, really are. I mean, Siam Reap, it's not as good for meeting the lady. It may be a nicer town, but it's not as good for meeting the ladies. So I'd have to say Phnom Penh. Let's see. Okay. David Coleman. Eddie, I'm not at home now, so block any other David Coleman. It's sometimes difficult. I get confused when I do that. Remember where my dad is from, so you know it's the real me. Okay. Let's see. Thailand found. He binged a great 2 hours of Carl Watson today. Why was I ever thinking of being a manga? Carl Watson. Are you talking about Carl's Thailand? Are you calling about Carl's Thailand? I mean, Carl's Thailand, wonderful, marvelous channel. Okay, Daniel Mills, scepter and crown being removed from the coffin was a touching moment. Yeah, absolutely. It was very, very, whatever. I don't want to talk about it, to be honest with you, because I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Simply because I think I mean, some people you do notice some people are not making vlogs today deliberately. Some people are not deliberately appearing on YouTube today when they would normally. I've heard a couple of people. I thought I'd appear anyway because that's what we do on Monday nights. We need to come together. Peter Blue, Eddie, did you know the world's biggest 7-Eleven has opened in Pattaya, just off Pattaya South? I've heard about that. I have heard about that. The world's biggest 7-Eleven. I wonder what you would need the biggest 7-Eleven for, though. I mean, how much stuff can you buy? Nice to know. Maybe worth a visit. Paul Hoskin, those armchair exercise bikes are great. Yeah, whatever. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. Yeah, Gaz 77. I'll just leave that on the screen long enough for the police to go and visit them. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Yeah, I'll tell you something with the exercise bike. I have been doing an hour and a half on the exercise bike, but probably more like an hour when you take away the bits where to get up and switch the TV over and all this kind of stuff. But with regards to the exercise bike, I have got fitter. I definitely have tightened up. Because what I've noticed the other day, I had to go to the co-op, which is up a bloody big hill from where I live, just for a couple of odds and ends. Now, that hill is a killer. It's an absolute bloody killer. It's steep. And a couple of months ago, I was trying to get up that hill. And I was walking up that hill, and as soon as I hit that hill, Jeez, it was a killer to get up it. I want to notice the other day. I walked to the co-op, and as soon as I got up that hill, I was actually halfway up the hill before I actually got out of breath. So that's a sure sign that I have lost weight. You know, I'm pushing less. I'm pushing less weight up there. I have still got this belly, but I think the rest of me has become a little bit fitter. So yeah, I managed to get up the hill without having to stop and start and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, where are we? Ian Bowden, why is all that stuff being happening in Leicester all over the cricket match? I don't get it. It's only a sport area. I believe that they're a sort of riots, aren't they, between two religious groups of people, something like that. It hasn't really been widely reported, simply because obviously the death of the Queen has been overruled and everything. Mark Holland, the breaking of the ruling stick, was also moving. Yeah, that was at the end. I thought the Piper was, Jesus, that was so powerful that when the Piper came on. Let's see. Sean Harris, do you have any phobias like snakes or spiders? I don't like bloody rats. I don't like them horrible, filthy, manky, horrible bloody people. This is the problem with Thailand and some of those other Asian countries, Vietnam, Cambodia. I wish they'd do something like, and Malaysia. That was also a bloody one. I wish they'd do something about, that the awful amount of rats, and they get in the, even in their second road in Pattaya earlier this year. There weren't so many of them about because I'm pretty sure that during the pandemic there might have been some people who were eating them, cooking them. But there was a store open with suitcases, brand new suitcases for sale outside. A bloody big rat run and got in between the suitcases. And I thought whoever picks up one of those suitcases and that bloody thing pops out. Oh, they're horrible, horrible creatures, horrible. Let's see, who's this? Rob, remember Blazing Saddles with Mel Brooks? Do you know something? I seen that movie in the 70s at the cinema, and I was still laughing about a year later after seeing it. Absolutely, it got some of the most amazing, but we don't want to repeat the mayor. I don't know if they can still show that movie on TV in this age of political correctness, but absolutely, Mel Brooks was a genius, absolute genius. It was absolutely a genius. I mean, absolutely well, but please don't repeat any of the lines from that movie. Barry from EastEnders, have you ever taken more than one lucky lady back to your hotel? Yes. Oh. Gaz just doesn't give up, does he? Gaz, did you get the security tags off your bottles, Eddie? If you didn't, do you want me to come over and get them up for you? You may remember I got a bottle of rum, didn't I? A bottle of rum, and I had it delivered along with all the other stuff. And it was only later I realized it still had the security tag on it. I got it off because the following as the listening, I told a woman about, and apparently it's a comment. They often deliver stuff like that, but Jesus Christ, almighty! But Gaz is an expert, of course. Lisa Dale's Gambian lover. I'm the real lover, Eddie. Lisa is with me now. I not talk of sausage, me modest man. You mentioned you've met. Yeah, let's see. Lisa Dale's fake Gambian. Oh, he's pointing into the other comments. Okay. S. Charles 4K, the Royal Regiment Scotland playing the bagpipes, played to perfection, was absolutely amazing and got everyone emotional, so powerful. It was sad to see the crown and scepter being removed from the Queen. It was one hell of a powerful moment. It really, really was. Hey, G. Hello, Eddie. You been on your bike today? Yeah, I did a full hour or so. Whilst watching the event on TV. Ian Bowden, staying in familiar surroundings at our age is understandable. Pattaya, for instance, has an almost comfortable, homely feel. no matter what you want from the place. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I once thought of climbing, going to Nepal and heading out to Everest and doing other. I can still climb things. I climbed Dracula's castle this summertime, and what else? Temples, I've climbed temples and stuff. Yeah, they've still done a few, but actually getting lost in the wilderness, I don't think that's for me so well. Let's see. Ed Sweeney's 20 Stone White back in England. A great London cabbie on Peter Stream last night. Must be an intelligent man to remember every road in London. Would definitely let him enter me. Along with all the others, you dirty bitch. Okay? Let me see. Ian Bowden, I'm sad to admit that it's our pomp and ceremony that is pretty well, and the only pride I have left in our once great country. Isn't it strange? I mean, 2 weeks ago today, Liz Truss became prime minister, our third female prime minister, and yet since the event, she's been more or less forgotten about. Really, hasn't she? I mean, the 2 weeks is when she, was supposedly. Maybe it's good for her because, I'm not saying the Queen's death, it's good, but maybe it's good that the spotlight's been taken away because it gives her time to get her act together. Oh, well, by the time she gets back into the limelight, Liz Truss, I'm pretty sure she'll be a definitely she'll have been taking a lot of advice and she'll be back. She'll be back in action. Lieutenant Columbo's glass eye. Ed, you have a beer belly. It won't disappear by drinking more beer. That's very, very true. You see, the way I see it is that this has happened before. When you lose weight on a regular basis, consistently, all the other body parts go smaller first before the belly. The belly is the last one. But when all the other body parts have gone significantly smaller, then the belly, and you're still losing weight, it then has to come from the belly. So, because I've lost weight before, I have had that before, So, but I'm thinking light of it. At the end of the day, like I said before, I can walk up that hill faster than I did a couple of months ago. Anyways, that's something. Ian UK. Ed, I've noticed that since you can retired, you're more chilled and no more rants. I miss a good rant, Ed. Nice. Need you to get out. Oh, don't worry, there'll be things to rant about sooner or later. Well, I seem to recall the last major rant was ranting about a co-op, a deluxe pizza, wasn't it? David Eisman, cheers, Ed. I'm having a cold can of Thatcher's Gold Sideways. Bloody good stuff. Mark Holly, Eddie, was Winston Churchill's 1965 funeral as pageantry as Queen. I don't remember. I was only 3 years old then, so I don't really. I wouldn't actually have remembered that. I'm sure Churchill was wonderful. I'm sure Churchill was absolutely wonderful. But it's not the Queen is actually more my generation. Kipax, we need a weekly Eddie rant once a week. Oh, we'll think of something. Let's see. Hi, Ed. Inside 24th of November. Maybe see a vlogging about. Do you eat the street food? I'll get you a bit of light if you're being stuck. The problem I have with street food is that they don't always supply chairs. I like to eat when I'm sitting down, comfortable. When I'm sitting down comfortable, I done a vlog around Chinatown in Bangkok last time, and probably a lot of street foods around, and probably a lot of it looked tasty. But I actually like to sit down. There was nowhere to sit, really. I mean, I like to sit down, you see. He's entitled to his opinion. Okay. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, Mike. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. Okay. 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 Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. Okay. 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 Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, Mike. You're entitled to your opinion. Okay. Who's that? Tell me, what's your number of your Cambodia videos earlier? And that's why I'm looking forward to making more. I am looking forward to making more. I can't wait to get back there. I can't really wait because it's been a few years now since I've been there. Because of the pandemic and all that. Paul Berger, Eddie, how does Phnom Penh compare to Pattaya? Well, that's how I remember it. It's just they're not really like each other. Not really, because Pattaya, well, it's got a beach, even though you may not, like me, you may not never ever use the beach. But Pattaya has go-go bars and wonderful, wonderful go-go bars and wonderful massage parlors. But for meeting girls, actually, if you want to actually meet girls, bar girls, Phnom Penh is actually very, very similar to Pattaya in that respect. Doesn't look like Pattaya at all, but the riverside area in Phnom Penh is full of girls and lovely, lovely, lovely ladies. Absolutely. So in that way, it does compare. Ian Bowden, have you ever been to Hooters in Thailand? If so, is it overpriced and overhyped? Well, I do know that a lot of people are hostile to Hooters. No, they have the most beautiful girls and absolutely gorgeous girls in Hooters. But they're just for show. If you know what I mean. I think they're just for show. That's my opinion of it. I went into Hooters once, the one in Pattaya, and I walked in there on an afternoon, and it looked outside that there was a special deal on the beer. I went in there. I had 1 pint of beer, which was not particularly expensive, but it wasn't cheap either. And I was thinking of eating something there, and then I glanced at the menu for a bit, and I thought, sod that for a game of soldiers. So I walked out again. So that's my only experience with Hooters, really. Yours travels just in the bar, grabbing a few drinks, guys. Then heading back to the cabin. It's 12:30 a.m. a.m. here. That's fantastic. It was wonderful for Yoz to come on the other day. The other night, I should say, he was a great guest. And wasn't it wonderful? I mean, really, well, he was in the cabin. We were talking to Yoz. He's doing a sort of cruise around Scandinavia, Estonia, places like that. And I think he's in Finland now. I thought that was a great moment when he picked up his camera and showed us outside. That he was on a ship. The lifeboats and all this kind of stuff. That was a great moment. It got real authentic feel. So yeah, you carry on, mate. You're having a great time out there, and thanks for coming on again. Great stuff. Tree Town, Ed, do you use Thai Friendly? I've never used anything like that. Never used anything like that. I just maybe I should, give it a go sometime. I've just never used it. I was thinking like, if I meet a girl online or whatever, and when we eventually meet, either I'm going to look at her and I think, oh no, I didn't know you look like that, or she's going to look at me and think, oh, for Christ's sake, I didn't know you look. I don't know it'll go down too well. The Ravens Claw video setting our career. I watch clips, but I'm not very good at that sort of thing. Okay. Yogi Bear. Ed, I never knew that Joe Kidd was a Clint movie. It was on over the week. It was a good. It was not a bad movie, but it wasn't a particularly good one either. Joe Kidd was a movie, a Clint Western. It was watchable, but the thing about that movie is that it kind of fell below expectations. It kind of fell below expectations, especially when you consider not only Clint had made some legendary movies by them, but it was actually made by John Sturges, who also made The Magnificent Seven, The Great Escape, and other wonderful movies as well. So it sort of fell short of expectations, that one. I think Joe Kidd is actually one of Clint's forgotten movies, really, isn't it? Pele. Hey, Ed, did you check out the Pattaya Beer Comics at White Sand and Koh Changi this year? If yes, was any good? I didn't go there this year. I've been there in the past, And I don't really like white sand beach very, very much. But in the past, there have been some lovely girls there in the past. But I didn't go there because it was still very, very much in the pandemic time, you see. Robster, the bagpipes evoke so much powerful emotion. It's hard to contain, but they're beautiful. Okay. Sean Harris, there's an animated movie on Sky called The Paws of Fury, Legend of Frank, basically blazing south, but the town is all cats and the sheriff is a dog. Mel Brooks himself is one of the animated characters. Sounds like fun. Mark Ollock, I thought of another body part that gets significantly smaller. Yeah, I got one of them as well. Wanderlust. Eddie, have you ever been tempted to pay for fast track immigration service? Or do you ever have problems with the immigrant? I've never had problems. I just turn. I've never had a problem with any of that. Don't really need any of that. Bottle baby. I do workouts. Unfortunately, it's walking up and down the hill to the pub. Okay. Tom Easton. I used the same camera this year. I'm going to pick up a Canon G7X Mark II. Fantastic for night. I have a Canon G7X Mark II. Don't forget, I purchased what you just said, and also a GoPro Hero 7 before the pandemic. Now, if I'd been regularly using them since then they may be a bit worn out by now. But don't forget, they were sort of parked up for the best part of almost 2 years, weren't they, during the pandemic? So there's still plenty of the GoPro Hero 7 is still terrific. It's got its problems, with temperamental, it overheats and all this kind of stuff. But the Canon Mark II is a very, very good camera for night vision. Great for night vision. Yeah, I've got that. And let me just say that the Canon G7X Mark II, they don't necessarily think that the latest model, you need the latest model. You really, really, once it's upgraded, you need that, because the Canon G7X Mark II, really good camera. But when the Mark III came out, it got some very, very hostile reviews from people. Even people who had praised the Mark II were quite hostile about the Mark III. Some of them even sent it back. But the G7X is really good. The problem with some of these cameras, with the G7X, what you will need with that, you need some kind of, wind muff or whatever, because that picks up the wind really, really badly. It really, really does. And also, another thing I'll mention, the GoPro doesn't pick up the wind so much. It really, really does. So I'll still take those the Canon G7X and the GoPro Hero 7. Also, my my mobile phone. What is it? What Oppo Reno 4. Yeah, that's pretty good. But that's another one that picks up the noise really, really quite badly. The noise of the wind. But a famous vlogger, that PewDiePie fella, or whatever his name is, he actually said to that question, "What camera should you get?" And his reply was, "The best camera you can have is probably the one that you've already got." In other words, I think it's not the most high tech stuff. It's your content really that's the most important. You see, yeah, that's what's most important. But yeah, no, but I don't myself change. I am looking at the brand new up to date iPhone 14 Pro Max. That would be fantastic. But do I really need to replace it? I mean, it's like you say, it's not the most up to date photography, that you really want. It's your content, what your video is all about. I think that's the most important thing. Let's see. Paul Louis, it's always best to sit down when eating a co-op cardboard pizza, okay? Farang Towers, last Thatcher's gold side that I had was in the Pattaya Beer Garden. 280 quid, that's expensive. Oh, that's expensive. Well, what is that? Is that about 6 or 7 quid? So 6 or 7 quid for one can. It was well. I don't know. It didn't need to be for that bloody price. Yours travels. Any regulars in? Plenty of them. They're all there tonight. All the regulars. Kipax is here. Kipax like twos is good for you, mate. Ever. Anyway, okay. One Carlos. One Carlos, have you ever gotten anxiety because you feel like you need to just monger non-stop? I can't say, lost this. And now being here for over 5 months, I just never feel like I'm monger enough. No, I've never felt like that, to be honest with you. Yours travels. Hooters is overpriced all in the world. Okay, I don't really see the point of Hooters really at that, not at that price. Definitely not. David Keenan, have you seen that film, The Hill? Very good. Sean Conn, bloody good. That was a war movie, wasn't it? I think it was set, during the Korean War or whenever. It was a box office disaster when it first came out, but that became a cult movie after that. And of course, it helped enormously that it was directed by the wonderful Sidney Lumet, who made so many great movies in his time. Wonderful stuff. David Isaac, Hooters in Bangkok is very expensive, and you cannot bar find the girls. Well, I think that's 2 reasons why we'll give it a miss. Okay, so let's see now. Kipax, a bit expensive, but the girls are awesome to look at. Worth it just once. I think once is enough, really. Look and don't touch. Thailand found. Thai friendly, lots of interaction within a week. The sick buffalo comes into play. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Ian Bowden, I hear Bamboo Bar reopening about now. Did you enjoy that popular freelancer bar? I went in there. It wasn't one of my regular places, but I do know the one you mean. And it was good. It wasn't one of my regular places. I must admit, when I actually felt when I went in there with all these older people, dancing, it can remind me more of a local social club. And they have this really. Every time I went in, they had a really, tacky band. Not in the same league as what you get on Walking Street. I actually felt very old going in there, to be honest with you. Paul Hoskin, David Beckham was amazing waiting in the queue with everybody else. Okay. I'm glad you said that, Paul. I'm really glad. Okay. I'm really glad. I'm glad that you said that, Paul, because I'm going to do squeaky door and then we'll do the big question. Okay. Now, I'm in one of those why the hell not? Why the hell not moves? I haven't really been drinking too much real ale because obviously it's a little bit more than calories, but Why the hell not? There we go. A nice little bit of this. Nice and chilled. Pedigree real ale, okay? Bloody good, bloody good. Okay, let's just hide that for a moment. Okay, Kipax, what's tonight's big question? Okay, let's just get on with this. Right, let's first of all mention what Paul Hoskin has just mentioned. Okay, where's my mobile phone? Right. So, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Let me see. Let's just get. Let's. I'm not. Somebody just sent me. You may actually see on my mobile phone a Facebook friend there. You may look familiar. We'll ignore the guy in the bubble there. Okay, so there you go. David Beckham standing in a queue. Okay, the legendary footballer and superstar celebrity David Beckham standing in a queue. Here's another picture of him. Here's another picture. Okay, there you go. David Beckham. A sort of tearful David Beckham there. There you go. Okay. A sort of tearful David Beckham there, right? So what do you think of that? Now, the story is that David Beckham, the mega rich superstar footballer, was invited to jump the queue to pay his respects to the Queen. I think it was at Westminster Abbey. But he said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stand in the queue like everybody else is. And I think he waited many, was it 16 hours, whatever that queue was. So what does anybody think about that? What does anyone think of that? Let me see. Anyway, I'm going to skip the chat here. Okay, so it's going to skip the chat here. We're going to go there, and I'm going to do this. Sniper. Let's see. Sniper Jews. Who was Dennis Beckham? Okay. Yeah. Matthew Cartwright. David Beckham was a top bloke. Farang Travels. He's got a different opinion there. Okay. Okay. Alistair Taylor. There you go. Kipax. Okay. So the consensus is. Let's say Ian Bowden, go for Beckham to queue at the playoffs, but maybe he's on leave as we look to that. Okay, okay. Tampa guy, good on Beckham, showing respect. Mark Ollig, David is only 47. He can still kick a soccer ball. I don't think, I'm sure he could, but he's got so much money and he's so famous. Kevin, fair play to him. Okay. Let's see. SK4, S Travels 4K. Well, that's showing you respect for everyone. Okay. Paul Popicon, David Beckham is very respectful and represents himself and his family. He should have been knighted years ago, but based on some of what he had. Now, this is what I want to talk about, funnily enough. Funny what I want to talk about. Tree Town, great bloke. Andrew Allen, total respect to Beckham, unlike Philip Schofield and Holly Boobies. They jumped the queue, didn't they? Yours Travels. David was from a council estate just outside of London. His family are amazing. There was 3 queues, normal, media, and VIP. David chose normal, okay? Let's see. Thailand found. I understand what Bex did, but it was a huge draw on police resources. Really? David Coleman. Nice to hear from you, David. Okay. Hello, David. Let's see. Lieutenant Columbo's glass-eyed. Beckham damned he did and damned if he didn't. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Clive says, I like David Beckham. Good chap, and I'm not a footy fan. Okay. David Eisenberg, great on David Beckham. Shame on Philip Schofield and Ollie Willoughby for choosing to queue jump. Okay. Yogi Bear, as I've said, I never liked him, but he earned a lot of respect from me. Okay. Alan H, he's got a different opinion there. Whatever. Mark Oleg, would it be nice if a King Charles III to knight David? Well, I'm not so sure what David, has done to actually receive to earn a knighthood. But I personally think that it was actually very, very honourable of Beckham. I know he's filthy rich, and I know we all think in the past he'll do anything for the publicity and whatever. The man's done well for himself. I'm not judging by his football skills, but he's a superstar. A lot of people love him. There's also a lot of people who are envious of him. I mean, who wouldn't be? But the man's done really, really well for himself. And I've no reason to believe that David Beckham is anything other than a thoroughly decent human being. And I think it was, whatever it was, I think it was very, very honourable. Very, very honourable. The story is that he could easily have jumped the queue because he's David Beckham, but he chose to stand there with the ordinary people to pay his respects. And I personally believe him. I believe him. I think that personally he done it out of respect, and I really, really do. Out of respect, not just for the Queen, but out of respect for all of those people who've been waiting for hours and hours and hours. Don't forget, a lot of those people have been waiting for 10, 15 hours, whatever. A lot of these were quite old people, and it's very, very difficult for them to stand. It's all let alone with that amount of hours. Beckham is obviously still a very, very fit man. I think he would have felt bad about jumping the queue when all those old people were waiting patiently, and I think he was very, very honourable. And I think he's very, very honourable. I think he was absolutely genuine. Okay. Let's see. Yours travels. No police around Beckham. Only reporters. Yeah. I did see a picture of them with police, but maybe they wanted his autograph, But I think the fact that he chose to stand in that queue, I think that was genuine. That was. Eastern man, nice to hear from you. Maybe the queue should be why are celebs allowed to jump the queue, and who gave the okay to do so? Yeah, absolutely. Travels 4K. He's a genuine guy. He doesn't need publicity. Absolutely. It's you go. Yeah, okay, all right, fine, whatever. Mark Oleg. Now, this is a good comment. Mick Jagger was knighted. David Canby. Okay. No, this is the question that I want to ask. This is the question that I want to ask. I was going to go a little bit further in the chat here. Let's see. Alan Hayes, he's done nothing but to deserve a knighthood. Thailand found lesser people have been knighted than Becks. Okay. Yours travels. Why would you need police around him? He was part of public. He isn't a politician or royalty. He couldn't get police protection. Whoever said police protection? Yeah, I agree. Yogi Bear on the TV ad, he said that he spent a lot of his childhood with his grand. If they're still here, they would do it like this. So he was doing it for them and for them to sell and for themselves to get closer. Absolutely. Okay, so what I'm going to do now. So yeah, this is the question. I was going to put this question up here. Somebody mentioned knights, lesser people than Beckham have been knighted. I don't know for what reason Beckham would be knighted, because he's a great footballer. He's a famous person. He's probably paid lots of taxes and and all this kind of stuff. And he's probably a really, really decent guy. Okay, but this is the question. Well, this is the question. Okay, now I may have missed something here, because early on, when the funeral procession started today, I missed. I think I missed the first hour, the opener, the first 45 minutes or whatever. A lot of the ceremony at Western. It was only the rest of the stuff that I managed to say. Drank too much beers last night, so as I slept, just gonna gulp of this. But people are mentioning knights, and this is the question. If I've missed something there, I'm wrong in it, then please tell me. But this is the question: where were all the famous knights? I didn't. All these celebrities, all these rock stars, and other famous celebrities who've been given a knight or the sir. I mean, the knights are supposed to defend the queen, aren't they? Defend. Where were all the famous knights? I mean, did I miss something? But yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Bottle Baby's got it. He knows where I'm coming from. Did anyone see Paul McCartney or Mick Jagger at the service? I didn't see them. I didn't. Where were they? They were given a bloody knight. They got Sir in the front of their title. They were knighted by the Queen or maybe another member of the royal family. Where were they all? Let's see. Farang Travels. There was another king notable by his lack of presence. Who was that? Who was that? Let's see. Yeah, Bottle Baby, at the very least. Where were these people? Where was Richard Branson? Anyway, I missed the early part of the service. Apparently, the knights sit at a certain, part of the ceremony. Where was Paul McCartney? Why wasn't Paul McCartney standing in the queue? Where was Richard Branson? Where was Mick Jagger? Where was Elton John? Where was Cliff Richard? Where were all these people? Did you see them? I didn't see them. Am I wrong? Were they actually there, but I just didn't see them? I didn't bloody see them. They should have been there. They're knights. They accepted a knighthood from the Queen. And yet when the Queen dies, they've probably got better things to do. A bit shameful, that, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. David Coleman. Wow, Elton John did not go. Yours Travels, David Coleman, Ringo Starr. No. Was he given a knighthood? Was he given a knighthood? Popcorn. Rod Stewart's missus was working as a special constable, Penny Lancaster. Really? Really? Billy Bob, they were not invited at. Mark Ollick, denied them. Denied them. That's an idea. Yeah, I agree with that. Greg Fox. David Highsmith, they think they're much better than they are. Too busy counting their money, okay? Lieutenant Columbo's glass eye. Good comment. Yeah, good comment. Their presence may overshadow the good comment. Yeah, good comment. Okay. But wouldn't you have thought, okay, if they weren't invited, but wouldn't you have thought they'd at least have done what David Beckham done and stood in the queue? Why didn't they go? They got a knight. They accepted the knighthood. They could easily have said, "No, I'm not into that." But they accepted the knighthood because they wanted the knighthood, for their own, their own ego. But they could have done what Beckham had done. Beckham done it. I mean, Beckham, stood in a queue for hours to pay his respects to the Queen, and he's not even a knight. The ones who've been like, they should at least have done that. They should have dropped everything, absolutely everything, and gone and done what David Beckham done. It would have been respectful. Greg Fox, too busy counting the money. Boo-hoo, nice to hear from you. Spitz energy, okay. Spitz energy, okay, fine. Nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. David Coleman, Rod Stewart, he's been given a knighthood as well. Where was he? S Travels 4K, they're not genuine people. They work for the devil, okay? Where was Richard Branson? Just during the whole ceremony, the whole various ceremonies that we've had over the days. Where was Sir Richard Branson? Where was he? I didn't see him. Popcorn, great question, Ed. Where was Sir Andy Murray? Andy Murray could have stood in the queue, couldn't he? Like David Beckham, he's a healthy, fit young man. If old people can stand in the queue for hours and hours on end to pay their respects to the Queen, then I'm sure Andy Murray could have done it. And it wasn't as if, he's Jesus Christ. I mean, maybe he's got other commitments. They're making, lots of money elsewhere. But Jesus Christ, for one day, for 10, 15, whatever, to stand in a bloody queue like Beckham did, they could at least. And it's not as if your monarch dies every day, is it? Bernard Purcell. They were at home like you, absolutely. I haven't been knighted, mate. I haven't been knighted. If I had been knighted, I'd have been bloody there in that queue. I would I would have been this. I would have stood for 10 hours. I would have stood for 20 hours. I mean, I would need to feel that I'd earned that night. I'd have been there in that queue, mate. Ian UK, here goes the rant. Okay. Lieutenant Columbo's glass eye. Ringo Starr piece. Is he a knight? Is Ringo being a knight? Well, for all those wonderful songs? For all those wonderful songs that he wrote? He was to get a knighthood for that, did he? I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. Oh, what a classic that was. Mark Oleg. Queen Elizabeth II knighted 27 Americans knighted. Where the hell were they? Absolutely. All the knights were there, unless you have a real severe physical problem or you are dead. All the bloody knights, they should all have been there. If they weren't invited to the actual ceremony, then the least they could have bloody done is stand in that queue like Beckham did. They should have been there. Shame on them. Shame on them for accepting a knighthood and then not bothering to show the face when our wonderful queen is getting buried. Yours travels. I think they were not invited to it, to be honest. Then they should have been in the queue like Beckham. They should have been in that queue. They should have stuffed it. Whatever they were doing, whatever commitments they had, they should have dropped them. As soon as they accept that knighthood, say whatever his name is, and they should have bloody stood in that queue. I think Beckham's come out great from this, personally. Whatever anyone says, I think Beckham's come out great. I really, really do. I personally have got every reason to believe that if Beckham had already been given a knighthood, but was not invited, to the ceremony, I still think that he would have been there in that queue somehow. I actually genuinely believe that. Alan Hates, you don't need to be invited to get in the queue. Absolutely. Mark Oleg, Angelina Jolie. Hopefully I'll meet her in Cambodia. That's where Tomb Raider was filmed. Tom, but was Bex invited to queue for 12 hours? No, he wasn't. He just turned up, out of respect. Paul Hoskin, how many knighted people are there? I mean, people get bloody knighthoods for all kinds of bloody things, don't they? You Keir Starmer. What did they ever? The leader of the opposition. What did they ever do to get a knighthood? There was someone else. Can't remember pronounce his bloody name. He was the leader of Liberal Democrats. He was a knight. Where did this knighthood come from? There's all kinds of people who get knighthoods. You wonder what does it mean? What does knighthoods mean anymore? What does it really mean? Poppycorn, maybe the older ones weren't physically up to it. Excuse me, Poppycorn. But if Mick Jagger, even at his age, if he can prance around the bloody stage for 2 hours, I'm pretty sure he's capable of standing in a queue. Let's see. S Travels 4K, Biden made it. No one else had an excuse. I don't know. I think David Combs, so you don't think Biden overshadowed it? No, he certainly didn't. He certainly bloody didn't. Most people have never even heard of Biden until quite recently. The Queen has been, around for, since most of us can even remember. Mark Oleg, if Biden can show up, yeah, absolutely. Where was Sir Mick? Where was Cliff? Where was it? Anyone since the Queen? It was announced the Queen's death about 11 days ago. Has anyone seen anything of Cliff? Is he appeared in the queue or anything like that? Where are these people? These people who accepted a knighthood, where the hell are they? Yours travels. I love Beckham. I would definitely give him a calf massage. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Okay, let's see. So I mean, it makes I think the fact that a lot of these so-called celebrity nights, because they weren't given special invites, didn't bother to queue or even show their face. I think it makes a mockery of the knighthood system. Really, it makes it look trivial because they're not genuine. If they were genuine, they would have turned up, and they would have stood in the bloody queue like Beckham did. But they didn't, so they're not genuine. They're not genuine. I thought they should hand the Knighthoods back personally. Yours travels. Branson was on a rocket. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Good for them anyway. Whatever happens? Is someone else mentioning this to me? Okay. Did you imagine was Geldof there? I didn't see him. Do you think an awful lot of these celebrities? Do you think an awful lot of these celebrities, trivial bloody Mickey Mouse, bloody namby-pamby celebrities? Do you not think that when they accepted that knighthood, it's because they wanted a Sir in front of the name? Do you not think that a lot of these celebrities become knights and not really royalties? They couldn't give a damn about the monarchy. Maybe some of them don't even support the monarchy, but they still want that knighthood. They still want to be called Sir. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking right now. I didn't see Geldof there. Mark Alec, I wasn't knighted and watched the service from the States. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I haven't been knighted, and I watched it while I was on my exercise bike, but I still watched it. Alan Hayes, the Queen was head of state, so royalty and statesmen from around the world would advise it. It's not the Oscars head. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. If they and maybe the camera, rested on the images of when the Queen's coffin was being taken into Westminster Abbey. If the camera had have picked out Mick Jagger and McCartney, and all, yeah, absolutely. I understand. I do get what you're saying there, but but I think Beckham, who was not a knight, has showed them all up. I think he has showed them all up by what he done. I genuinely believe that. I think his motives were honourable. I really, really do. I really, really do. And the fact is that they didn't do what he did. They should hand the bloody knighthoods back. Okay, Lieutenant Colombo's glass eye. It isn't a night at the Palladium, it's a funeral. Okay. Oh my God! Nice one, yes, nice one. Geldof would never be there. He hates Mondays. Like it. Bloody good stuff. Like it. I don't like Mondays. Well done. Mark Olive, Ringo sang Kitachrome. I've never even heard of that song. The only two songs I really know of that Ringo sang are I Get By With a Little Help from My Friends, and the one he supposedly wrote, which is Octopus's Garden. I actually like both of those songs, funnily enough. In fact, I've actually done a karaoke. I was also in the bar in, I think it was the Island of Rhodes, and I went up to I've done a few karaoke's there, and I went up to the karaoke man, and I said, I want to sing Octopus's Garden by the Beatles. And this guy, looked at it on his computer screen. He said, Jesus, mate, you don't have to pick some obscure songs, don't you? I'm picking a song by the Beatles, and you tell me it's bloody obscure. Jesus. S travels 4K. Eddie's brought something to the light that we all wasn't even aware of. Absolutely. Cheers. Thanks for that. Okay. Alton Taylor, very clever, yours. That was bloody good. That was bloody good. That's the laugh of the night. Shaggy Rogers, respect to all the old soldiers going to salute the Queen. Absolutely. Yogi Bear, the service was invitation only, but the biggest insult was no member of the Thai royal family turned. Prince Charles went to his father's burning. Okay, okay. I'm going on to Thailand, so we don't want to talk about that. Who's this? Inbound Macron went to a Greg's or something incognito, but it was all over the media. Publicity sons? Not sure about that one. Shaggy Rogers and the Dames. Yeah, I think the Dames, they're really the equivalent of the female knights, aren't they? Helen Mirren. She actually played the Queen, didn't she, in a movie? And what's her name? Judi Dench. For S Towers 4K was Sir Alex Ferguson there. Probably a good job. I don't. He wasn't. As we call him and Beckham weren't on good terms, was it? Were they? Frank Travels, cue it like Beckham. Absolutely. I think Beckham's come out very, very well out of this. Marco, Paul Simon sang Catacomb, a song worthy of a night. I don't know that one. I love Simon and Garfunkel, but I wasn't so keen on Paul Simon as a solo artist. David Coleman, Eddie has a very good point. Shame on them. I think it's time, isn't it, to review all. They're giving night as the Mickey Mouse because someone's a famous celebrity. But who next? What are the crap bloody millionaire pop star are they going to give a night? They should have a total review of all of this and make sure they give night as the people that we've actually heard of, but who aren't Mickey Mouse. The thing is, in order to qualify with a knighthood, you should first of all, prove that you are a real royalist. I think that's one thing you got to prove. Clive, well done, Eddie. You brought up an important point tonight. Bet they'll be falling over themselves to see Charlie crowned. I must admit, that was a wonderful moment. A very emotional moment when the Queen coffin was actually lowered. In the chapel at Windsor Castle. And I must admit, more than anything at that moment, personally, I'm speaking purely for my generation, I am so glad the her crown has been inherited by Charles. I'm so glad that he is now the king, because we've lost our beloved Queen. But but the only comfort is that it's now going to be inherited by somebody who we know my generation is familiar with. I was brought up with the Queen. I've been brought up with Prince Charles, and now that he's King Charles III, I am so glad. Don't get me wrong, I like William, but the idea of the crown being passed to William, no, he hasn't earned it yet. He hasn't waited his turn yet. I'm so glad that it's gone from the Queen to King Charles. I really, really am. Because King Charles, I think he's a good guy. I like him. Mark Alec, I'm here at night, so that counts. Okay. Cheers. Let's see. Bazooki, all the dignitaries who were there were knighted in one way. David Heisenberg, when is Nigel Farage going to get his knighthood or better for what he's done for us all, as he keeps getting non-reconciliation? You never know. I wouldn't be surprised one day if he does get a knighthood. If Brexit proves to be a success, he will get a knighthood then. Mark Oleg, Joe Biden is 500 years old. I was in the queue. He looks older than that. No, God bless him. I wouldn't comment on American politicians because I'm not American personally. David Heisenberg, Nigel Farage was there in London in the queue with the people. Was he really? I didn't know that. Alan H, where was Sir Eddie? Where was Sir Eddie? I was at home, mate. I was at home. I was watching on TV. Mark Collins, where was Gladys Knight? One Gladys Knight. Love Gladys Knight. Absolutely love Gladys Knight. Love her. Marvelous. Let's see. S4 Towers. Biden and his wife had to wait for the seats used to turn up late. No one overshadows our queen. Quite well. It was her day. It was her day. Spitz Energy. Agree with everything you said, Eddie. Beckham is a genuinely nice bloke. Absolutely. I mean, it's whether you believe. I mean, it's divided. Was it a publicity stunt, or was it generally decent, honourable person? And I think it was the second one. I really, really do. Absolutely. Billy Bob. I queued up on the first day before the doors opened. It took 5 hours. The only famous person I saw was Nigel Farage going past in a black cab. Okay. Kip, Mark Alec, where was Ted Knight? It was Ted Knight. I seem to recall that name. Popcorn. I bet Captain Tom would have queued up. Yeah, you're right. And he's dying, but he was over 100 years old, wasn't he? He would have queued up. As I was saying about all of those celebrities, even the ones who were, if you can still prance about by the stage at 70 or 80 years old, then you can stand in a bloody queue. If they weren't invited, they accepted that knighthood, and they should have honoured that knighthood by at least showing their face, even if it took them that 10 or 15 hours. They should still have done it. Okay. Lieutenant Columbo's glass eye. Geldof is a Republican. Okay. Okay, so we've been on for an hour and a half now anyway. So Frank Travels, they weren't important enough to be invited. Only the real powers that was invited. Okay. So one more. Kipax. When you have so much money, the only thing left is power. They're all on a power trip. Mark Alec, I noticed the choir sang a Russian song at AirSid. I did notice that. Some of these, when they were going through around Buckingham Palace, the music was a bit, but then it was all doom and gloom. It was a bit dreary, but it was, the band play was very, very dreary, but it was very, very somber, really. Ian Bowen said Edward Sweeney has a certain je ne sais pas to it. How can I pronounce that? Je ne sais pas. Oh, what is is that where the word pizzazz comes from? Okay. Actually, I'm not mentioning kings from other countries, I'm afraid. Okay, David Colby, you can buy one for land in Scotland and they can be caught. You can buy one for of land in Scotland, they can be caught law. Yeah, I've heard of that. Okay, so yeah, Paul Hoskin, who sang Yellow Submarine, was it Ringo? I believe it was, wasn't it? Now that's not a bad song. Mark Olive sang You're 16. Well, that's Prince Andrew's song, isn't it? Okay, not a good song. Go on. Ian Bowden, I put God Saves the Queen on the jukebox in my. I put God Saves the Queen on the jukebox in my local booze earlier this evening. By the Sex Pistols. It got pulled after a few seconds. Wrong move or on the wrong day. I mean, I noticed that I read something in the paper that well, not the paper, online, that John Lydon, that he's known now, he wants to distance himself from that song, God Save the Queen, the Sex Pistols' rebellious punk anthem from 1977, the Queen's Jubilee year. And he wants to distance himself. I think maybe, I wonder if it's because, they were young and they were reckless then. And is that the reason that he wants to distance himself from it? Apparently the other band members don't want to distance himself from it. But I think maybe the real reason that he may want to distance himself from it is that it's actually a bit of a crap song. I'm sorry, but when the Sex Pistols were amazing, in terms of the controversy, and they were exciting and they were cool and all the rest of it. But there's not, in terms of music, I mean, they weren't really that good. That wasn't a good song, really, not really. Andrew Hammond, I wondered if Michael Fagan was there. Well, he got in some other bloody awkward places, didn't he? Let's see. Mark Olive, didn't these nicer blokes even send a condolence card or flowers? All of those, just about all of those knighted celebrities that I mentioned, I never heard of any of them. I never heard a peep out of them in this whole for the last, since the Queen died, or I never heard a peep out of them. You have to question, were they really royalists? Were they accepting their knighthood for sincere purposes? Alan H. Diana's brother Charles Spencer was there. Okay, probably liked the Queen. Okay, so I'm gonna anyway. Eastern man, a lot of celebs who received honours from the Queen wanted to Queen, but they wouldn't let them out of prison to attend. Yeah, probably. That's some strange bloody nights, haven't we? I don't even want to mention the names of some of them, but we have had some strange bloody nights, haven't we? I think really out of this, they need to. The fact of the absence of all the famous nights, why they didn't bother showing up. I think the royalty, the monarchy needs to review the knighthood system and don't be giving knighthoods to people who are not really royalists and who simply want it for their own ego. I think that's basically what it is. Listen, I'm gonna end this song now. Okay, let me see. Okay, David R. Nice to hear from you, David R. He's going out to Thailand and Cambodia very, very soon. You never know. We may even meet up together. Listen to the song Holiday in Cambodia by the Dead Kennedys, another famous punk band. Bloody good. Yeah, good song. That good song. Good song. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up now anyway. I've been on for an hour and a half. I mean, I was a little bit thinking some people have deliberately not done any live streams or, live streams or anything. Yeah, some people have deliberately not done any vlogs or live streams or anything. Kept a low profile. I respect for the Queen. I totally respect the Queen, and but the idea is to just hide away. I don't think that's a problem. You need to come out and talk. We've had quite a few people in the chat tonight anyway. So all as I can say, I'm going to end this now. I'm going to be on tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We're talking about a couple of big questions or whatever. We've done it, but this is an historic day. Let's see, a couple more comments. I am Tilt. Nice to hear from you. Interesting to see, mate. Thank you. Okay. Frank Travels. Bye, guys. Okay. Mark Oleg, you miss me. Don't know what comment that I missed it, but anyway, thanks anyway, Mark. Thanks for coming along. Anyway, always a pleasure to have you guys in the chat. It really, really is. Anyway, why are white fools? Why is he off early? I've done an hour and 34 minutes. I think that's pretty. I think that's not too bad, really, is it? Anyway, listen. Okay. What's this? God Save the Queen. My sex was released Jubilee week. Yours Travels. Good night, guys. Mark Oller, good chat this evening. Good night, everyone. Okay, thank you. And I'm going to finish on this one. Ian Bowden. Okay, night, Eddie, and everyone. Okay. So what can we say? It's been an amazing day, everybody. A wonderful day. I'm very, very sad, very, very emotional. And those final scenes when the Queen, the Queen's coffin was lowered. It was very, very emotional. But we've lived with it all our lives, most of us. I'm going to miss the Queen, but the consolation is that now I think we've got a genuinely good king to replace her. Okay, the Queen could never ever be replaced. Of course, she was absolutely wonderful, but at least we've got King Charles anyway. So God save the Queen. God save. Sorry, I'm a little bit, intoxicated. God save the King. Anyway, good night, guys. See you tomorrow.